Brodes Media.
Maybe it wasn't as clean as we would have liked it. You survive in Game 3, Gregory Soto, Jose Alvarado, striking out 18 times, finding a way, though, winning 2 of 3. The result here is what's important. Sometimes it'll be choppy, but while it's choppy, how do you handle it? And they handle it by getting their 21st win of the season. This is all I ever wanted. This is all I ever wanted to see, which is just nonstop winning. It's what they do. They figured it out. They got on a roll. And it's not always just gorgeous. But when it's not gorgeous, do you still win? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, they do. It sucks that they dropped Game 1 the way that they did, because if you remember, they lose 6-5. Alec Boehm puts them up early because of course he does. We're actually going to listen to, in a little bit, DeRosa of MLB Network. They did a whole entire 4 or 5 minute segment of just strictly watching Alec Boehm tape and being excited about. Imagine Nick Saban or one of the best coaches in football history sitting down and watching tape and just watching excellence and seeing someone dominate at their craft. And imagine what 5 minutes sitting down next to that coach would be like, and you could feel the energy off of his excitement. I'm just saying, right? That's what these guys were doing. They were giddy as hell. They were like two people who walked into a candy store and saw all the Sour Patch Kids they've ever seen in their life, and their eyes light up and they start running around with their big-ass bag, filling up pounds and pounds and pounds of candy. That's the level of joy that baseball minds are getting while watching film on Alec Boehm at the dish. It's beautiful. 15 games in a row. This guy is insane. 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 It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. But he gives you an early lead. You're up 3-0 after the first inning. So it just looks as if you're going right to where you were when you beat up the White Sox, when you beat up bad teams, the Rockies, when you were handling business. All right, they didn't skip a beat. But then their only other run from that point was when the Angels didn't know the new rules. They're throwing it over to first base. You're scoring a free pass, a free run. You go from third to home. And from there, you basically evaporated, right? I mean, Rob Thompson doesn't have a feel on Sir Anthony Dominguez again. And I don't know how many times he needs to see him fail before he realizes that this dude ain't it. He's not it. You can't keep putting him in these spots. It doesn't help that Kerkering didn't necessarily do the most perfect job when he had to come in relief for Christopher Sanchez, who wasn't super sharp. But still, Sir Anthony, don't screw this up. He screwed it up all right. It stinks. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with the starting rotation. What I prefer, and I'm just talking from my perspective, what I would want based off of just who deserves it, well, maybe you remove Christopher Sanchez from the rotation, Spencer Turnbull stays in, and Taijuan Walker enters the rotation, if you are going to do that. But what makes more sense role-wise? Spencer Turnbull fits the bullpen more than Christopher Sanchez would fit the bullpen. So it would make more sense to maybe try and replace Sir Anthony Dominguez, who has struggled big time, with Spencer Turnbull, who I could see getting the ball in a bases-loaded situation and going in with a killer instinct and going in with the, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get these outs. Sir Anthony goes, am I good enough? Will I succeed here? No. You can't be questioning yourself. Get the hell out there and start pitching the baseball. So whether they do a backpack thing, I think they might have mentioned that on the broadcast at some point, or maybe it was on the radio broadcast. I forget exactly where I heard it. But, oh, no, it was the TV broadcast because Kruk actually countered the point. So Tom McCarthy brought up, well, maybe they'll do a backpack thing and maybe someone will be in relief of someone else to try and stretch out a starter a starter outing, if you will, and Kruk goes, well, what if the first guy dominates? And then McCarthy goes, well, I'm not really sure then. Well, yeah, I mean, Spencer Turnbull's pitching so well. This isn't Bailey Falter and Sanchez, where one guy goes 3 innings, maybe the other guy can go 3 innings, and that's your 6. Turnbull's been doing his thing. Turnbull's been gross. And with Christopher Sanchez, I think you got to give him time whenever it is his day to start, because what he does is he gets a few guys on. He probably should be down 3-0 after the first, but he limits it to 1-0. Limits it to 1-0. Sorry, I can't speak. But, you know, it's all about the length for him. He finds a way to go 5 1/3, 1 earned run, 5 2/3, 1 earned run, but it's not pretty. So you can't just react to the eye test with Sanchez, because if you know he's only capable in your mind prior to the game starting with, let's say, a Spencer Turnbull backpacking Sanchez, if it's ugly through 2, it is ugly with him. But the results are actually okay. And I don't know, like, how do you balance that if you're going to be quick on the trigger with yanking him out of the game? Just something that I'm thinking about. But getting back to that first game and how they lost 6-5, they walked 9 times and didn't make the Angels pay whatsoever. 9 times! You're just basically getting free bases. Here you go, take it, get on first. 9 times! They were also hit by a pitch, so they're trying to hand this to you. And Brandon Marsh, who I love to death, who's starting to cool down a tad, although when I say this, that means we'll probably see him go 3 for 4 in his first game against the Giants, and there's nothing more I'd like to see. But I'm sure it stings knowing I'm facing my former team. I'm going up against the organization that felt it's time to deal me. And he goes up there in the 7th inning with men on, doesn't execute. And then he gets a chance in the 9th inning. What are the odds in a baseball game that you get to be the one with the bases loaded or with the few men on, right? I mean, the odds in a batting order 1 through 9 that it lands on you is pretty small. And then let alone when you already missed that chance in that same game, your spot in the lineup comes back around in the 9th inning. And he wasn't able to get it done then, too. So I'm sure that that's eating him alive, because there's nothing that is more motivating than seeing the logo on the opposing side of the team that gave up on you. They lost their first game, but then they respond in one of the most epic ways possible. Johan Rojas with a jack. Unreal. And Nick Castellanos ties it up, too. That's just crazy. There's no other way to put it. On the same exact day that Tyrese Maxey does what he does in New York, and you think the improbable of Maxey was genius, and it was, by the way, and it obviously was, then you get to add the fact that you saw Nick Castellanos finally, after hitting a home run a little bit earlier, his first of the season, he keeps the momentum going. Just what? Johan Rojas with a bomb. Like, that thing was beautifully tattooed. Squared the hell up. Johan Rojas. And you know what the best part about it was? It wasn't the home runs. Well, it was. This is just a silly statement. It was Hoffman, who goes into the game and says, I ain't playing around with shit. Get the hell out of here with the man on, with guys. No. Let me tell you something. This game's fucking over. This game's fucking over. Play no games. Give me the ball, Topper. All right? Give me the fucking ball. Insanity. Not the Gregory Soto. All right, hey, they won. None of that. It's, we're winning this baseball game. Jeff Hoffman. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And I want to give Alec Boehm even more love right now. We could joke around about how much I ripped him in the past. And, there's no doubt I did. This guy's awesome. He's just awesome. He's awesome. Awesome. He's awesome. He's fucking awesome. There's nothing I love more than watching him up at the dish right now. He's my favorite guy to watch bat. And there's Kyle Schwarber on this team. You know how much I love Schwarber. You know how much I believe deep down to my core that he is the greatest leadoff hitter to ever live. Is there anything more beautiful than Kyle Schwarber running the bases? The answer's no. But he barely runs the bases because he trots them, because he hits bombs, because he's the best. And I'm enjoying Alec Boehm more than that. It's unspeakable stuff. Even in the 7-5 win that Spencer Turnbull pitched and Nick and Rojas saved the day, Boehm cut the lead to 1. It's a tiny detail. It's not going to be talked about as much as the home runs, and that makes sense. But it was needed.